Oh! Conor's out! Conor's out! Lead right by Conor. Pop, Dustin. Ooh, that left foot, that left heel is up right now. He looks to counter. Ooh! Conor's did a slip, weave underneath, making Dustin miss. Ooh! Ooh, check hook. Dustin pointed at him. Conor got a little rock there. Conor's head really snapped on that. Big left, not a big left hand, but a good left hand by Conor. Dustin's chopping. Spinning hook kick by Conor. Dustin blocked it, but ooh, Dustin's got a good check hook. Man, Dustin's keeping that check hook beautiful. His right hand lead hook over Conor's stuff. Ooh, big leg kick. Ooh, big hit by Conor, but Dustin responded. Dustin keeps, every time Dustin lands a check hook, he keeps pointing at him. Oh, he wants to spin. Spin it, Conor. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Little wobbly by Conor. Conor's a little wobbled. Oh, big right hand by Conor. Conor's a little wobbled. Conor's hurt. Conor's hurt. Conor's hurt.
Oh, no.
Oh! Conor's out! Conor's out!
No way.
No way! I said 60-40, man. I was just going to say, the fact that Conor didn't take out Dustin, the fact that he didn't take him out, Dustin was taking his best shots. That's the part I was just thinking about. I'm like, Dustin's taking the shots this time. Ooh, Space Sensei here. Conor McGregor KO'd by Dustin Poirier. I don't think anyone saw this, at least this early. It was the second round, right? Yeah, second round. So I'm going to tell you some stuff that I saw in the walkout of the fight and right before the fight was happening and what I was saying on my stream. I'm not totally surprised with it. I was more surprised with like the TKO finish of, Conor getting hit with some shots he doesn't usually get hit with. But right off the bat, I noticed the first thing I said is that Conor doesn't have that usual strut. I was saying yesterday on Instagram and stuff like that, and just noticed, I feel like Dustin is doing some reverse psychology, right? There was this whole banter back and forth, but they're doing it for charity. But Dustin had like this quiet killer about him, where he's just been super respectful. But it's like, I'm respectful, but like I'm still gonna come for you. Whereas like Conor's not used to that, and Conor just seemed, he doesn't usually fight like that. So I think he kind of lulled him a little bit, and I was like, Dustin seems like he's, sucking up, or he's just being super nice, and maybe he's not ready. But I'm like, no. Dustin is coming out there. I know he knows how important it is, and he said to win by any means necessary. So I figured he'd be smarter when he would fight, stay away from the dangerous stuff, and just be super, like a technician. That's what I was expecting. But Conor came out right. He's doing the walkout. They're touching gloves, and he didn't have that same, like, just that Conor aura, the strut here. Obviously, there's no crowd. He didn't have that same feeling. He looked pretty pedestrian in the sense of, like, for Conor, right? He looked a little human to me out there. He didn't have that same invincibility look in his eyes. Like, he did want to go out there and press the action. So I was like, okay, as soon as they said go, and he, they separated for a second, said, wait a second, and then he came out there. He kept his hands up. He was a little bit more guarded than usual. It's a slightly different stance. He's usually doing this whole posturing, using his footwork, darting in and out, but he was a little bit slower. He didn't look super sharp, even throwing his first couple combinations. They had to clinch. Dustin, and I said during the stream, I said when he did work against the cage, that's a lot of clinch work, and that can fatigue the arms. And Conor, I want to mention this in a moment, but his arms get tired and stuff like that, and takes him off of it, and then make him slower in the exchanges. But Dustin, we know his cardio is insane. Dustin is a good fighter throughout the fight, right? He gets better later. He does well. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and he can punch really well. So Conor's really dangerous early. That's what everyone believes. But the leg kicks were super effective. Obviously, it slowed Conor down. He was hurt. But I did want to say this. I think Conor got exposed today in the sense that he does not fight good from behind or when he's hurt. He's shown, the Diaz fight, once he got hurt, all downhill. Once he was getting dominated from Khabib on the ground, he gets this, the same thing with Floyd, right? He even mentioned it. He gets this glass look over his face where he gets hurt, and he starts to slow down and wither. He doesn't get like sharper or like circle out. If you notice at the end of this, he got tagged, and Dustin, did the same thing that Nate did, and he kind of just like, oh no, he loses that confidence when he gets tagged. I don't think it's so much about conditioning. You can see him, for me, I feel like, man, he really lost his confidence when he got tagged. And he's like defending and exchanging, but he's on Dustin's pace right there, right? He's not exchanging back with that ferocity. He's not talking back, right? He's not trying to circle away. He just kind of, it's not like he's not giving up, but he gets into this like, like this super laid back, withering type fight style. And it's very weird. It's the same thing that we've seen with Floyd, and then with Nate when he gets caught, it's that same look, and he does not fight well from behind. And then the thing is, he's not typically behind, right? So it's not common for him. And he mentioned that he's been inactive and he wants to get out there and be inactive, and he took it well. So maybe he felt like he wants to be more active. He was mentioning that. So again, even though he was confident in his preparation, he still like felt like something's lacking, right? He's mentioning that, I want to get out there, I need to be more active. And if you see him out there and you watch like the walkout footage, and when they're announcing them, him shaking himself out, wiping his feet, it just wasn't the same. It wasn't the same Conor, the same invincibility look that he had. I don't know. It wasn't. I think we all thought we would see Conor at his best, but it definitely wasn't Conor at his best. He looked too relaxed. Press conference Conor and like talking Conor is way different than fighting Conor, right? It's like that switch, and it's so different. I feel like we never saw that. I mean, he was tagging him, he was catching Dustin, and it was during the stream. I was like, I was just about to say it. I'm like, this is getting dangerous because he's caught Dustin with a bunch of the same stuff, and we saw the same thing with Nate Diaz. He was hurting Nate in the second fight, and then the third round, I think it was the third or the fourth, where Conor it might have been like a 10-8 round. Like it was bad, right? Conor just got beat, and he's just defending and kind of doing what he was doing there, and then he survived into the fifth round, and then won there. But he doesn't. That's not his best, and he's trying to slip and count like with his hands out. He's still trying to move. Dustin's opponent. I think that might be some boxing training too. The MMA gloves. I mean, boxing, you can like lean against the ropes and get away with doing stuff. But guys can still chop at your legs, and the punches sneak in differently. You can't be doing some Philly shell and just like slipping and staying in the pocket with MMA gloves. Even a boxer wouldn't do that, right? They would try to stay on the outside and use their speed and angles and footwork, dart in and out, which Conor usually does. Not surprised by Dustin. I was more surprised with Conor. Conor did not seem the same, his usual self. Dustin did not surprise me. I mean, he caught him, and I was impressed that he wasn't, I was wondering if he was going to be a little nervous. I did think he was a little jittery at first. And I mentioned he was doing like this little shaky thing. I'm telling you, I'm thinking it was this reverse psychology thing, that he's just going to be super nice, but he's super confident in himself. This has been years have gone by. He's a different person now. It's just this quiet confidence that Dustin has, like, you're going to stand and punch with me? Okay. And then you got him the first time. It's tricky. This is also the first rematch that Conor has done that he won, right? The Diaz one he lost, he was avenging the loss, right? This one, he already beat Dustin. He has respect for Dustin, and then they're competing. I don't know. I just think it's just weird when I saw it. I don't know. It's not smart to stay in the pocket after you get caught. And Dustin's calling him. And Dustin was getting rocked too, and then Dustin hit him. He's like, I got you. And you see Conor not responding well to those, losing his confidence. I think Conor needs to be someone who he fights better ahead, and he fights when he's super confident and boastful. In the ring when he gets in another person's head. That was a big topic too. How is it going to be if Conor's not in your head? Because that was a big part of Conor's mental warfare is a big strength, right? And when he doesn't have that, Khabib, right, didn't win the mental warfare. Nate didn't care about anything. Now Dustin, one of the first time, on this time, someone's talking right back at him. I mean, even like Cowboy Cerrone has had when he beat Cowboy, but Cowboy's also had a tendency and a habit to, when he gets hurt, he gets finished too. So, man, clean boxing. Very interesting too. I was saying in there, for breakdown for technique wise, Dustin wasn't just covering. A lot of guys, when Conor starts throwing, they just, they bail, or they just start covering up. They don't exchange with him. And Dustin was very sharp with counter boxing, right? Not just ducking and weaving and here. Took some shots, but beautiful counter right hook. There was some that just rocked Conor. There was that right hook
where you see Conor's head snap, and that's when he pointed like, "Ooh, I got you," right? And Conor's not used to getting caught, right? Whereas Dustin just went on a 5-round war with Hooker. This is recently. He's just a different beat, right? Beat Max twice, and it's more impressive to beat him the second time because Max was super young, when Conor beat him and stuff like that. So I don't know. Conor's super motivated though, so it's good to see him get this out of the way, and we're still gonna see him fight. He seems like he wants to just keep improving and fighting and get back to his old ways. So I mean, at least we have to look forward to that. So we can see what Conor is next. But Conor can kiss that goodbye. Maybe Max and Khabib. I don't know, but then you look at Dustin. Dustin lost to him, but he beat Max twice. So I don't know. It doesn't look great for setting up a Khabib match unless you bring GSB back out of retirement. I don't know. Maybe Chandler. I don't know. Wild though, but it just shows. That's why I say I never bet on MMA, because the gloves are too small and everyone out there is too good, because you just never know, man. One punch changes the fight in boxing, but now you make the gloves smaller with added strikes. It's a game changer. I don't know. I like that. I think it's really cool for Dustin. I mean, I went down and trained at American Top Team with Phil DeRue for strength and conditioning. So we're part of that team. So I know they're super excited. So that's super cool to know that, Dustin avenged that, and then maybe have a trilogy fight. He's got a trilogy with Nate and a trilogy with Dustin to look forward to. So plenty of fights to come. And then now we got Jake fighting someone in April. Floyd and Logan got pushed back. I think I'm going to do a UFC striking tier list. I was planning to do this. It's on my board. And now we got to throw Dustin up there. Man, leave a like and put in the comments if you want to see that video. I'll talk to you soon. Leave a like and subscribe. Oos.